Good morning, guys. Welcome once again to Career Counseling Online. And today is Sunday, so hopefully we are all doing great ourselves. Well, I have a news to share with you guys. Right, last night we reached a markup of 1,000 likes in our Facebook page, and I got something for you guys. For you being all so awesome, for always constantly supporting me, for motivating me, for encouraging me. Well, you deserve this, right? So thank you guys so much for always staying with me, for believing in what I'm trying to do among this pandemic going on. It was just an effort to stand by all those who feel so traumatized, who feel so secluded, who feel so very lonely due to the COVID-19 issues, the way it's impacting your professional life, the way it's impacting your personal life. So, guys, thanks a lot for standing by eyes. You know, this is the fastest 1,000 likes that we could have ever thought of, right? This all likes, this all support of you guys have made this possible. So, as I mentioned, thank you, Super 1000. So anybody who joined our Facebook page, LinkedIn page, or YouTube channel, you know, is a motivator, is the reason I'm talking to you guys now. Okay, so thanks a lot for being with us. Thanks a lot for supporting me. Thanks a lot for believing in what I'm trying to do, and it was a very interactive session, to be very honest. I mean, like yesterday we had a wonderful interactive session with Saurav Gotakurta from Al Nabuda Automobiles UAE, wherein we were talking about the changing work scenario and the kind of expectation that employers will be having from their employees, and also the way the employees could cope up with this stress, because this is a global pandemic. This is going to impact on the socio-economic status, obviously, and a lot of people are going to be jobless. The economy is going to hit the bottom. But the thing is, guys, at the end of the session, what was decided, what was found out is that humanity always continues, because we humans are are the most surviving species, because we have been standing next to each other, at least during this time of crisis. Whenever a crisis broke into somebody's life, or a society, or a country, people across the country, people across the society, people across forgetting about their caste, creed, religion, or the color of the skin, people always came forward. People always believed in them and their suffering, and they wanted to end the suffering as a whole, because a problem which is impacting a part of the global world, it's very foolish to say that it's not going to impact us. Like, let's say for this pandemic, okay, so when we started reading news about Wuhan, and we started contemplating, we started thinking, okay, see, that's a country wherein they eat all kind of stuff, they eat all kind of exotic animals and so on. So it's very obvious that it will be a disease in that country. But the thing is, nobody thought across the globe it would pass on to countries like Europe, India, US and UK and everywhere, and it would cause such a pandemic. So the thing is, see, humanity is a global organism. Let's be very honest about it. See, something which is impacting you today, I cannot ignore, because it will impact me eventually someday or other, right? I mean, it might be just a matter of time when we can just think like, okay, it's not going to impact me, but the thing is, it's certainly going to come back, right? Like, see, it started with Wuhan, then it started moving all across, and we had such a huge number of deaths, and we're still having a huge number of deaths and so on. So the thing is, see, humanity is a global organisms. What we believe is impacting one, it is going to impact the others. So humanity has always stood next to each other. Like, I would take this opportunity to thank all these frontline support system, whether it's the administration, whether it's the police system, whether it's the doctors, whether it's the nurse, whether it's the firefighters, whosoever is helping in fighting this pandemic. We from Career Counseling Online, we do salute them, and we pray for their goodwill. We pray for their good health, and we pray that they do also keep safe and sound, and they can return back to their family. So on that note, see guys, I wanted to talk about handling competition today, but the thing is, yesterday night around about 11:30, we reached 1,000 target, which is a milestone for us. I mean, like, it's a great achievement for you guys. I mean, it's a real cumulative collective effort which has brought us to this 1,000. I mean, it's not a matter of joke, because when we have so many groups, we have so many kind of motivational, encouraging career advice groups all around. See, Career Counseling Online, yes, we've been very active past 13 years. I've been very active over 13 years through LinkedIn. But with the Facebook page, it started with the pandemic. It started with I receiving the calls, I receiving the mails, I receiving distress calls from my ex-employees and from my team members about they losing their job, about they facing this trauma, about how they can handle their financial situation. So what appeared to me was like the kind of advice that I'm giving to one, why not I document it so that anybody who views that can correlate to it, can use that as a solution, or can at least feel included in that. I mean, it's not that whatever I'm saying is going to solve the problem, but at least we need to understand that this is not an individualistic problem which is happening. It is impacting everybody, and we are into this all together. If somebody is thinking of getting out of this all by themselves, then it's absolutely wrong. I mean, it cannot be done. It cannot be done. As I mentioned, it is always a cumulative effort. Just like the 1,000 likes yesterday at 11:30, we reached the 1,000 likes, and it was like, I was like, oh wow, that's great. And people are literally supporting us. People are literally joining the conference. People are literally coming into the Zoom meetings. People are sending their mails. People are calling me up. They are interacting through the live sessions. They are watching the watch parties, and they're joining in numbers. And I mean, all the names that I see joining the live session and the watch party, see, well, these are very busy individuals from my ex organization, my ex team members. All are working from home, all have a very busy schedule, because now they also have to do the household chores also, like, right? So everybody is helping their family coping out of this, and at the same time they're working from home, they're distressed, and they are feeling the trauma themselves, but still they're joining the live sessions, which is very, very motivating, which is very, very encouraging for me to come up to you guys. And it gives me a feel that whatever I'm trying to do, the effort, see, this is not a revenue generating model wherein I'm charging something or there is a fees involved, but that is my part, in a small way, to make you guys understand that I'm into it, and we can talk about it. You don't have to stress it out. Yes, that trauma is there, the problem is there, but we always can talk about. Here is a platform where you can come ahead, you can share your problem, we can share our experience. We cannot say we can share, I cannot give you a solution to it, but the thing is, the situations which is impacting you right now, the similar kind of situations did impact me a couple of years back. I've been also without a job. I've been also looking through the best job opportunity. I've been also going through the recession and so on. So I have had my fair share. So I thought, like, sharing my experience, if that makes you at least feel included, that you are not alone. I mean, that's just effort. And the best part is, you guys have constantly motivated me. You guys have constantly stayed along with me, right? So it's a great feeling when you have 1,000 likes and you are not a trained or a certified professional, a motivational coach, or someone who's doing it professionally. But the thing is, you guys supporting me makes me feel that I am able to make a change, and I am able to make a sense also. That's the reason you're spending your time, you're spending this time watching the videos, reading my blogs, reading my articles, going through the quotes, and writing back to me. So once again, guys, from me, this is a great feeling. And once again, I need to give you this, guys. This is absolutely fine. I mean, let's not go about the artistic view about it, but just I just try to make you guys feel the kind of all the colors that you see here is the kind of mixed emotions, is the kind of mixed feelings that is happening inside my mind with you guys together with me. So thank you guys once again. Thank you guys. Yeah, thank you Monty for watching. Thanks a lot for joining me today also. Thanks a lot. See what encouragement and motivation does is we were just a number. Like last night we were 1,000. That's a milestone for Career Counseling Online. Thank you guys. Thank you everybody who's watching this. Monty, thank you so much. We had interactive sessions. Thank you so much for that. See, this goes to all of you. All these colors that you see here, all these colors are the emotions that you add. These are the colors of motivation. These are all the colors of motivation. I feel joy. I feel happiness. Right? You can see here. This is a kind of motivational color, and you can see the green. You can see the pink, and this is the wide horizon of the sky. See, that sky color, sky blue color, defines the kind of horizon that you are setting up for me. So guys, once again, thanks a lot for constantly supporting me. That has been very motivating, and I promise you guys today on the milestone day that I'll try to come up with more and more content which are more related to our life, which are going to add some value to your life, to my life, and we learn together, and we are on this together. You need to understand this, like we are on this together. We will work out, but the only thing is we need to be dedicated towards what we are doing. We need to be very, very thoughtful about our consideration. We need to think about gratitude. We need to think about others also, and that's how we are going to come out. Like on that note, see, we are going to talk about the power of motivation, right? The power of motivation is so strong that it can make you do anything. Like for instance, I'll quote, I like to do a lot of trekking. It's seldom that I get some chances, but my my everyday routine has some part of either visiting the Himalayan ranges through the groups, reading about the Himalayas, reading about the trekkers, reading about the mountaineers, and so on. I feel very, very connected with the nature. When I did my Kanchenjunga base camp trek to the Goechala, I felt so connected to the nature. That makes me feel so powerful. So the nature is the best motivational teacher that one can have. So let's talk about the power of motivation. I'll tell you one thing, drawing examples from the mountains only. Two things, like I'll talk about a past incident. I'll talk about a past incident from my life and a past incident from the history. Let's go by the history. See, we all know that Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay did their Himalayan summit, together. Now, Tenzing Norgay was just a Sherpa who was carrying the luggage, who was carrying the baggage, extra baggage, and who was just acting as a guide. But Sir Edmund Hillary was always very friendly, was very, very, he understood that to understand the mountains, I need to understand the mountain peoples, because through them I can understand the spirit of the mountain, the Sagarmatha. Okay, so the thing is, Sir Edmund Hillary, I read a book in which Sir Edmund Hillary wrote. See, and also we need to understand, this is one guy who has been doing so much of charity work. I mean, even today, his children are doing a lot of charity work in Nepal and all the regions around the Himalayan ranges, because he felt that he had this debt, the kind of lesson that the Himalayas, the Sagarmatha taught him about humanity, about the life philosophy. He believed that it changed his life, and it changed it so much that he spent his entire life, since his days of summit, majority of his life he spent doing social work in and around the Sherpa community in Nepal. Okay, he had built schools, he had built hospitals, he had built dispensaries, he had built medicine shops where from free medicines are given to the Sherpas and so on, free education, right? So a lot has been done by him. Now, to come back to Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay. See, Tenzing Norgay and Edmund Hillary, Tenzing Norgay being the Sherpa and Sir Edmund Hillary being the main Sammita. So when they reached the Hillary Cliff, when you go up to the summit, there is a part which is the first bend is the Hillary Cliff, which is very, very steep. It's very steep. You have a high speed wind always gushing around, and it's very, very treacherous also. A lot every year. Last year, at least 35 mountaineers, avid mountaineers, lost their job at the Hillary Cliff. They were, blown away from the cliff. They were, dragged down, or they fell into the crevasses. Now, when they were crossing this part, Sir Edmund Hillary, being leading the summit journey, as they were approaching the summit. Okay, see, a summit, the tip of the Himalayas is not some place where you can have 10 guys all together and have the tea and party around. No, it's pretty steep. Just on the tip, it's pretty steep, and it allows one or two guys to be there, and people to take their photographs. Now, in those days, we need to understand they were having the worst, though at that time those were the best kind of equipment that they could lay hands on. But honestly speaking, much better, at least 1,000 times better equipments are available in the market now, and every year we are losing mountaineers trying to summit Himalayas. Last year it was 275 people who died in an attempt to do the summit of the Himalayas. Okay, so now as they were approaching the peak, okay, and they were about to take that historic step to the peak, and Sir Edmund Hillary was about to step. Then he stepped, he stopped and said to Tenzing Norgay that, you come along. Because Tenzing Norgay, as you understand, he was a Sherpa, so he obviously understood he had this feeling of class differentiation and so on, which you can see, you can understand among this community. But what Sir Edmund Hillary did was, he asked Tenzing Norgay to come forward, and both of them took the step together to the tip. Okay, so that shows tremendous leadership. That shows the power of motivation. Now, this is not the actual story of motivation. While they came back, the BBC was there, the news channels were there, every news channel was there. So everybody was talking to Sir Edmund Hillary, he being the main person who did the summit and so on. But Sir Edmund Hillary was so noble, so he rightly earned his knighthood. I mean, he was knighthood was given to him as the Sir. The title Sir, he deserves it, more than anybody else, because every time he was asked to say something about his summit, his expedition, he always mentioned Tenzing. He always mentioned that he was the person whom I always saw going in front of me, and I could not let myself go off. I could not say that I cannot do it, because he was there and I knew he was dependent on me, I was dependent on him, so we both need to do it. We both need to do it right together. So that was the motivational part. Second part, the best part, why I told the whole story together, is when the news reporter started interviewing Tenzing. Okay, now you need to understand, he was a Sherpa. His communication skills and other things obviously had a problem. Now Sir Edmund Hillary was doing the translation. So some newspaper channel, if I correctly recall, most probably it was from BBC, right? And the reporter asked Tenzing, so Tenzing, how did you feel? What was the kind of feeling when you did the summit? Okay, when you reached the tip of the Himalayas, once you completed this summit, how did you feel? What was the kind of feeling, right? The answer is the motivation, guys. He mentioned 45 days back, or 55 days back, if I'm not wrong about the number days, 55 days back, when we started from the base, for the summit, with the first step that I took towards the Himalaya, that was the feeling of joy. That was the feeling of excitement. That was the feeling of success. So I didn't feel any great, when I reached the summit. I felt already great the day I took my first step towards, the summiting the Himalayas, because nobody did that. There is a controversy about John Mallory doing it prior to that. That's a historical controversy. We'll not go about it. But the documented history is Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay did summit for the first time, right? Now, Tenzing said, yes, 10 days back or 7 days back, I did the summit. I reached the top of the Himalayas. It was a great feeling. But honestly speaking, I already felt very happy, very content, very blessed. The first day I took, I started my journey from the Kumbu. Now, Kumbu ice crevasses are treacherous for people who already knows it. Every year, hundreds of mountaineers do die out of falling into the crevasses, and seracs are there, and they do die out of falling in the Kumbu, right? He said the day I started my journey towards the Himalaya with this intention in mind to summit the Sagarmatha, that was the day I felt blessed. That was the day I felt excited. That was the day I felt so happy. So it was not a different feeling. When I reached the peak, I already felt the same the first step that I took. Now that is the kind of motivation. That is the power of self-motivation. See guys, it is such a strong feeling. Such a strong feeling. See, coming from a person who's illiterate, who's basically working as a porter, that kind of motivation, can you understand? That's the power of nature. That's the power of nature. Is the best motivation that you can think about. Now, coming back again to my experience from, I'll tell you, Goechala trek is never recommended for, it's considered as HAT, which is high altitude terrain trek, and it is never recommended for the first timers. It is basically done by people who have already done a couple of treks, who have already done a trek up to 10,000 feet, 12,000 feet, 15,000 feet, so on, because we are talking about an altitude of almost 19,700 feet, which is, absolutely not recommended for some first timers. Now for me, a high altitude trek, I was honestly speaking, it was pretty difficult for me. Prior to that, I did small treks which not involved so much kind of technical technicality, understanding the wind speed and so on. It was pretty difficult. It was pretty difficult, and the best and the worst part was it was heavily exhausted, because I'm talking about walking 12 hours a day. I'm talking about taking a break of 5 minutes, not more than that, because then you can go into a mode wherein you start developing cramps on your ankle and you cannot walk. I'm talking about cold, wherein you can develop hypothermia. I'm talking about a dense forest, rhododendrons forest, wherein you could be encountering some kind of wild animals also, high altitude animals also. But the thing is, it was so difficult for me. And absolutely every day that I took my walk, my legs were paining. It was excruciating pain, guys. Let me tell you, it was excruciating pain for me. I was not able to walk on. My boots felt like it's made out of lead. It was so heavy. I couldn't breathe properly because the altitude was so high. I was let's say I was the last person to reach the base camps every day. Every day I was the last person reaching the camp. But then again, two person I need to mention about in this is, first is our trek lead. Trek lead was a guy named Kuntal. He's also a trained professional from HMI, the Himalayan Mountaineering Institute of Darjeeling, and he also loved mountains. He loved the whole concept about trekking, because he believed it reveals your true self. So, and he was a guy who was always given the work of a sweeper. Like for the guys who knows about the trekking and who does the mountain treks and treks, a sweeper is a guy who is generally put at the last of the team, so that nobody is left behind. He is a guy who's constantly pulling up guys and pushing up to their limits to do that. Now, honestly speaking, he was there always for the 14 days. He was always there, and he was constantly saying, "Oh, you can do it. Don't worry. It's just take your step. Just take a baby step. No prize is going to be given to you if you reach first, or nothing is going to be said to you if you reach last." So the thing is, take your time, enjoy the nature, enjoy, because it is also the journey which matters. Look around. It was magnificent, guys. It was, I can say 1,000 good things about the trek which has happened. I will share my experience in one of the videos. That was so motivating, so empowering. The nature itself, I saw stars as big as I couldn't believe my eyes. I saw them so close to me with the air being so thin. The Milky Way appeared. I mean, a lot of people were hallucinating because of lack of oxygen. You do hallucinate, okay? And people were literally trying in our campsites. People were literally trying to touch the stars by pointing their fingers because we never saw. I mean, no human beings has seen something as magnificent as this. The stars were so big, you wouldn't believe. I mean, it appeared so close. The Milky Way appeared, so clear. I mean, you could touch all the. I mean, it's just as if you have taken a dip into an ocean of stars. I mean, everything was there. So the nature was very empowering. The nature was very powerful, but I'm not here only talking about nature motivating me. Yes, the nature was powerful, the nature was beautiful, the nature was rugged, but also the nature was very painful for me because I was going through excruciating pain. My legs were paining, they were hurting, my kneecap was badly paining. I mean, I cannot explain pain. And above all, my chest, from the heavy breathing, the lungs were about to burst every 10 minutes. Every 10 minutes, the lungs were about to burst. Okay, so the thing is, that was so painful. But the thing is, I'm going to talk about another nice guy. This guy is, at that time, was 17 years old. His name is Soman Ganguly. Now, he was a kid in the group compared to all other members. He was a kid. All right, and he was the best fit kid. I mean, always when the oxygen level was measured, he showed the best result. When the heart rate was monitored, he showed the best result. When acclimatization report came up, he showed the best result. And he was like, I fondly said, "You're like a lamb." He was jumping from rocks here and there, and he was the first. And the trail lead and the trek lead agreed with me, saying that this guy will reach the summit of Goichala the very first. He is going to be the first person to see the sunrise on the Kanchenjunga from the Goichala summit point 1. Okay, then we move to summit point 2. And that is something, I mean, I'm not talking about a male ego. I'm not talking about feeling very, very male about, I'm the first guy who reached it. But that's something very motivating. But the thing is, this guy was very sweet. This guy was smiling. Most for all, being 17. Let me tell you guys, I was in a team of 18 members, all hardcore professionals, all some very, very hardcore trekkers. Also, we had some pilot from Indian Air Force who had already done 10 to 15 treks. But the thing is, with Soman, the best part about is what I learned from him. Honestly, he was the age of, half my age, right? But the thing is, you wouldn't believe, guys, he literally stayed back always, every day, behind me to make sure that I was going ahead. So, the guy who could have reached first every day to the base camp and first to the summit, first to the Goichala point, first to, the summit the lake, is the guy who reaches all these points, all these locations last because of me. And he was constantly there. But the thing is, he never spoke anything. Most probably he understood that's the best way to have my dignity, inflated dignity in place. He never said anything like, okay, move on, you can do. But the thing is, he simply pretended as if he was as tired as me, and he's taking a small break. And then as we exchanged glances, because we were not able to talk also, we were not able to communicate, he just gave a smile like, yeah, let's do it. Something like that. And that's so powering, that's so empowering. You wouldn't believe, I give the whole credit of me being alive, because during the trek a lot of incidents happened. We lost the trail, we got detached from the team, we were caught in the blizzard, we were caught in the rain, we were exposed to cold, we were almost developing hypothermia, and we lost our way. And trekking from one point, we completely walked throughout the day to a different mountain altogether, different range altogether, and we had to be rescued also. But the thing is, one thing remained constant. Showman, who was the fittest guy who could have reached the summit very first, he was always with me, because he was always with me. He was staying back with me. Now that is motivating. That is motivational. I today also say that I am alive because of this kid, right? Because of this kid who showed me that I cannot give up. Every time I said like I cannot, I'm returning back. And he said like, oh, you come so far. I heard that it's wonderful up there. Yes, we have to go down. So is it only the pain, or is it like something is wrong internally also? I said, no, it's the pain is extreme. Otherwise, I feel absolutely okay. Then he says, if the pain wasn't there, would you have done the summit? I said, yeah. Then he says that forget the pain. Let's carry on. Let's take baby steps. 17 years, guys, 17 years. And here we are talking about a leader. You wouldn't believe this was in the year 2012 end, I guess so, 12 end or 13. And once I came down, successfully summiting Coachella, I offered my prayer to the mountain gods, and I embraced so many. For the first time in 14 days, we were allowed to take the bath. Okay, hot water was there in the toilet, and we were taking our turns, and in turns we were taking our bath. Hot food was given to us, and so on. I embraced him, and I cried, and I said, see, the mountain god has revealed a lot of revelation to me during this trek. I've learned so much from nature. I've learned so much about humanity, about kindness, about compassion, about leadership from you. So, with all the good wishes of my heart, I can trust me, you will be very, very successful in your life, in whatever you do. This is coming from me, from my heart. You wouldn't believe, guys. I mean, I'm not trying to draw a correlation. I'm trying to say that, okay, my prophecy came to, true. It's his hard work. It's his sheer zeal of taking things very positively, taking things very, very spirited way. He got through with IIT Mumbai. Then we lost touch, and of late, a couple of days back, due to the pandemic, he's stuck in the country. He's now working in Germany's one of the biggest organization, research center, German research center on AI. He's working on AI projects which are highly classified, highly confidential, and highly technical. And he still retains that simplicity. That's the power of motivation. The guy is self-motivated, so he always motivates people around me. I mean, he was able to motivate me. And let me tell you, the trek when I took to Coachella, I was at the bottom of my feelings. I did lose hope on humanity. I did lose hope on human beings. I did lose hope on any expectation on me, on leadership. I completely believe that leaders were completely people who misuse their power and so on. It's like in a nutshell, a completely broken man, a completely burnt out person. But here I'm talking about a guy, a kid, 17 years. He was 16 and a half years. Can you believe it, guys? I mean, like, he motivated me to find myself. He motivated, it's not scaling the Coachella. It's not scaling the mountain, going to the base of the Kanchenjunga. Kanchenjunga base became the peak or summit of me, myself, of winning over me, winning over my difficulties, winning over my, limitations, winning over my, hatred, over my negativity. And thanks a lot, Soman, once again over this video. Thank you so much, Soman, for making me what I'm today. All the credit goes. I mean, a lot of people say, "Oh, you are a very motivated guy. You, you radiate motivation. You do understand people's feeling." But nothing. I mean, this was nothing. I started learning from this kid. So on this note, guys, see, the power of motivation is such that you can make things happen in a very different direction. People are broken all around. With the pandemic going on, people are feeling so scared. People are traumatized. People are, completely puzzled off. So please stand by them. Please support them. Please encourage them, spread positivity, stay positive, right? See, with the pandemic going on, there would be traumas. But the best part is, let me tell you guys, with the trauma, what comes is the post-trauma growth syndrome, which is, simply speaking, see, if a wrong thing has happened to my life, it's just like I don't really appreciate what happened to me. I really don't appreciate COVID-19 killing so many people around the world. I do not appreciate I being stuck up into my home. I do not appreciate constantly, locked up into my room. But the thing is, the post-trauma growth syndrome also says that, well, I am alive today. It's not that difficult working from home. It's not difficult understanding the right situation, reading books, going through the movies, spending time with families. It's not that hard. So I can do it now. So I'll come more stronger. Okay? When the lockdown is up, is lifted, I come much stronger. I come much professional. I come much efficiently focused. So guys, on that note, please stay positive, all right? Please stay positive, because positivity is something which you start cultivating within yourself, and it's automatically spreads around. If you're not positive yourself, you cannot but motivate others, right? And this is a time which calls for self-positivity, self-motivation, and standing by your team members, your family, and your friends. They need you. If you are strong today, it's because God has made you strong to stand for others. So please stand by others, stay motivated, keep on motivating. And thanks a lot, guys, once again. Thanks a lot on the parting note. Thanks a lot for helping me reach the milestone of 1,000. It would not have been possible with all you fantastic people around. Keep motivating me, keep pushing me, make me discover, new horizons, make me break my, barriers or, self limitations. Help me grow, and we grow together. I assure you, whatever I learn in the process, I'll be sharing with you guys. We are in this together. We will grow out of this, any situation together, and don't be stressed out. We are always there. Career Counseling Online. You can write to us at careercounselingonline@gmail.com. Please like our Facebook page, which is Career Counseling Online. And in LinkedIn, also, we have a fantastic interactive group, which is Career Counseling Online. Please join that group. You can like our Facebook page. You can read the blogs. You can read the articles. You can watch the live videos. And we are into this together. And guys, we can do this together. Trust me. I believe with you. Yes, I'm talking about you and you. Everybody is watching. With you guys, I can come out of this. I can be much better than what I am today. So if I can do that, you guys can do it. We together will do it. So with that note, guys, stay positive, stay at home, stay focused. And as I always say, learn, contribute, and evolve. That is the only way. Okay? Stay positive, stay focused.